All right, well, hello everybody, and welcome to Live from Beyond. My name is Kevin. I'm GMing tonight, and we are playing Conan: Adventures in an Age of Dreamed Of, which is a recent Kickstarter product which has just gone live. And the adventure that we're playing is called The Ghost of Thunder River. Now, before we begin, a couple things. So first of all, this is our first time playing Conan, either live or on stream or anywhere. So I think we're going to make a bunch of mistakes. I'm going to be trying to go over some of the rules as we play, but expect us not to be quite spot on our first time. Now, the game is before I get too much into it, let's why don't we introduce the players here? I get too deep. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, so my name is Kim, and I guess we will go into characters and stuff.
Hi, my name is Dave, and yeah, looking forward to playing Conan.
Hello, my name is Nick, and playing Kitty Kennedy in a future episode of Live from Beyond that I'm excited about.
All right, so today we're playing Conan. Most people probably have heard of Conan through the more modern incarnations, probably the movie or movies. But this game's supposed to focus in a little bit more on the stories of Robert E. Howard. If you don't know anything about Robert E. Howard, he is a pulp fiction writer, a contemporary and friend of H.P. Lovecraft, if you're familiar with that guy. And he is the father of what we call now the sword and sorcery genre. Now, part of that is important just because I wanted to let everybody know that the adventure we're playing has some native peoples involved, and I've prepared a little bit of a spiel here. So, Robert E. Howard's historical backdrop is a product of the late 19th and earlier 20th century idea of romantic primitivism. That is to say, there are native peoples, and they are noble and I guess maybe dumb or something. It's I don't know. Now I've tried to not take our story in that direction. That is a part of Robert Howard's work originally, but I've tried to keep us update the story and keep it from veering too far into simplistic stereotypes. But it's entirely possible that there's some problematic elements in what we're going to play, and that some still might be present, or I've missed the mark in some ways. So if you have any thoughts or ideas on that, then we would love to hear that discussion, and you can do so in chat or in the comments below. So with that, we'll move towards the prologue here. So this game has a prologue, or this adventure has a prologue, in which you guys will be playing alternate characters, and you are basically a band of Pict. Which is these sort of native peoples, a Pict war band. You were a hunting band, but you've turned into a war band. So I'll read the pre-roll here. The endless tide of invaders has come to invade your land time and again, committing atrocities upon your people. They have trodden your sacred spaces, their iron axes and saws cutting great swaths out of a forest that has lasted since the waters receded from this land. Once there was enough for all, but they have hunted and cleared and burnt so much, feeding some endless hunger behind them, that you and your people are pushed back each day. Now, their hatred has fallen upon you. They brazenly cross the Thunder River in metal-clad bands and wage war against you and your own villages. 2 days ago, while you were on hunt, a band of these soulless ones attacked your village. They could not kill everyone, but set fire to your huts in the night, killing many, including children and elders. As the village burnt, they defiled the bodies, taking their ears to sell as bounty, and they took all the gold and precious items they could find, treasures that had been with your people for generations beyond counting. You returned to a smoking ruin. The people of your village fled deeper into the wilderness, and when you had laid the dead to rest, you went on the hunt once again. Since then, you have harried them as they attempted to return to the safety of the other side of the river. Your arrows have thinned their number, and the sole survivor, wounded by one of your arrows, has cut deep into your territory. perhaps lost or trying to draw you into the land of a rival tribe. You have followed him for half a day now, and as the moon rises and shines through the forest, he is finally within your reach. However, his path is taking them into the place of the whispering fog. So, why don't you guys introduce your prologue characters?
Why don't I'll go last.
Sure. Start with Dave.
Okay. I am Ethete, a female Pict tracker. Picts are the native people in the area that we're in. And I come from a lineage of great hunters and trackers.
Okay.
I'm going to be playing Tokos. I'm a compatriot of whatever the hell Dave said his name was.
Ethete, I think.
All right. And I'm pretty pissed about the shit that just went on at our huts, the smoke and the fire, and the treasures from generations uncountable.
All right. My name is Ahanu, also a Pict scout. Ahanu is, I guess, a bit of a jokester, or rather, he seems to see a funny side of everything. His name means always laughing.
Okay. Right. So, night has fallen on this fall day, and a few remaining leaves are brown and black, with the ground littered with, and the ground is littered with a thick, rich carpet of the fallen leaves. The moon is exceptionally bright, almost eerily so, and the animals, birds, and insects of the marshy forest are almost subdued. Breath steams in the cold, and the ground is slightly wet with a recent rain. So you're it's nighttime. You're in the forest. You've been tracking this metal-clad devil. So far, he's left a trail of blood. Clearly, he's been wounded. What are each of your roles in this hunting party?
Well, I would imagine that I am the tracker here, although Kim is also a scout, so I don't know what his skills are, but I guess my character seems to be a hunter and
Sure.
tracker.
Well, just between the three of you, what is your strategy for tracking this? Is I guess you're trying to follow the signs then, if you're the tracker?
Yeah, looking for the signs, and I guess it sounded like he was leading us out of our area. Are we all from the same Raven tribe?
Yeah, you're all from the same village.
And we are territory or no longer?
So you are still in your territory. I have a map, but I didn't put it on Roll20. You're still well. So give me a I think it's a knowledge test. Does it mean an average test, which means it's difficulty 1?
Okay.
And now, so in this game, and most tests, you're going to roll 2d20s, and you're going to try to get over a target number. That target number for knowledge should be your knowledge skill, which is a knowledge skill, and the associated attribute, I believe, is intelligence.
Okay, so it would be the knowledge plus intelligence gives me a number. The number for me is 9.
So you're going to roll 2d20s. Anything you roll under a 9 is going to be a success. Anything you roll over a 9 is a failure. If you get okay, so you got an 11 and an 8. So you get 1 success.
Yeah.
Okay. So just a couple other caveats here before we move on, so we know. There's a couple things that can happen if you roll under your skill, right? Just your skill. So I guess for you it might be just a 1 for knowledge. Is that right?
That's correct.
If you rolled a 1, you would get 2 successes for that dice. And it's a little more complicated than that, but for these simplified characters, that's the way it works. And if you roll a 20, you get a complication, which is in Edge of the Empire terms, is kind of like a despair or something. Like something bad happens to you that's not necessarily related to success or failure. Okay, so you do know about this place a little bit, in that you kind of know how much you don't know. So this is an ancient part of the Pict lands. Generally, it's avoided by your peoples. It's not really of any particular religious significance, but it's not there's nothing here for you really to do. This is not a fertile hunting ground. It's sort of a strange place that you just sort of avoid. You know, for example, that it is quite ancient. It is older than the peoples who are now invading your land.
Said it was called Whispering Fog.
The place of the Whispering Fog, yeah. Like I said, the animals avoid it. There's not really any hunting to be had here. There's nothing here but old ruins full of things that you have no use for. Sometimes the shamans and witches you hear come here for visions or to cultivate strange herbs, but other than that, it's basically avoided by your people.
All right. Well, naturally, I tell my two colleagues that I know this area like the back of my hand, and that they should follow me.
Are we?
Okay.
So if we like generally know about it, are we like scared of it? Is it like a spooky place where we're not supposed to go, or is it just like nobody comes here because it's useless?
More nobody comes here because it's useless. Certainly, it is somewhat unnerving. Like I said, it's a dark night. It's slightly damp. Your breath is steaming out. It's foggy. You are all natives of the forest, right? So you're comfortable out in the wilderness. You're hunters. You've been out in the wilderness probably more days than you've been of your life than you've been at home relaxing. So you are comfortable in this environment. But it's nighttime. It's not a totally comfortable place right now.
Sure. All right. Well, so Ahanu, with kind of a bit of a smirk on his face, will turn to Ethete and say, "The White Devil has made a grave mistake now coming here. We can find him. We can easily ambush him. I doubt he knows how dark and treacherous this forest is. Provide us with suitable terrain."
I'll say, yes. Come, follow me. I will track this white beast who has come into our land. If we do not kill him, certainly the animals and the spirits will.
Okay. So, what are you guys doing? Continuing to track, I guess?
Yeah, so I think I'm not really a tracker. It seems like my character is more of like the ambush. Like once we like find the guy, I can probably like sneak up on him.
Okay.
But I'm not like necessarily the guy that's gonna like find his footprints, figure out which way.
Sure. So are you sort of scouting out ahead, or are you just hanging back with the group?
No, I guess for now, just wait for Ethete to like actually find the guy.
Okay.
He's 10 feet behind the party in stealth.
Sneaking off to the side.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
so and
yeah, I'm tracking. I'm trying to look for signs.
Sure. So give me a survival check. This can be a difficulty 1 as well.
Okay, difficulty 1, and that would be fortitude. Combat.
I believe it's senses.
Senses. Okay. And the associated attributes.
Here, so I have a list of associated attributes here. We can refer to this page. Oh, you might have to scroll around a little bit. But
the survival?
Yeah, so survival is awareness, and just to find the group here.
It's part of fortitude.
Okay. Yep. So it's fortitude, and then your fortitude skill, and then your awareness.
Skill,
So for anybody who's watching, who is intending to play, we're using pre-generated characters which have their skills dropped into groups. So you have like the survival skill on his sheet is part of the fortitude group. It doesn't have each skill listed out. That's why we're talking about that. If you generate their characters through the normal character creation process, they have individual skills. That's the only difference here. But so,
okay,
you'll be able to get a number.
Yes,
What's
my
the number?
number is 11. I think fortitude 1 or fortitude 1 awareness 11. So 12. 12 is my number.
Okay.
1 success.
Okay, so you get 1 success. So just as a note here, if you had rolled more successes than you needed 1 success here. If you had rolled more, you would each one above the number you need what generates what's called momentum. I think I explained it already, and that's a resource that you guys can use. If you see on the charts, the first chart is things that you can spend momentum on. So bonus damage. I think you can do extra actions, re-rolling damage, recovering damage, a whole bunch of different things. Momentum is in general is quite good for you. So so you find these sort of footprints and a spattering of blood continuing through the forest. You think you can track him for at least the next foreseeable way here.
Okay. I'll turn to Ahanu and say, "Look, he's been wounded and is trailing blood through the forest. We'll catch up with him soon. Follow me."
Excellent. As soon as we catch him, we will make an example of him for his kind. The gods will be pleased.
I think all the rest of them are dead, so we already made an example of all of them to him, and now he's terrified because we're going to finish him off.
Mount him on a pike. The sacrifice to the gods.
The others will think twice before coming into our lands.
All right. So you guys going to follow? Okay.
Yeah.
So you continue on. The air grows colder as you continue forward, and intermittently you find overgrown in the jungle strange, not strange structures, but structures of stone, long covered in vines and moss. A creeping feeling begins to inch its way up your spine. Everybody needs to make a discipline check, a discipline test. It'll be difficulty 2.
If you don't have discipline,
Expertise and attribute?
So the
I
expertise.
think the expertise would be discipline, and
No, the expertise is fortitude. You mean?
whatever. The one of them would be discipline, right? Like, there's literally a thing that would be called discipline. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that.
Right.
Yeah,
So then
but-
it just goes to fortitude.
Oh, you have a separate discipline skill on your sheet?
No, but it's a skill you could have. So I'm assuming the fact that we don't have it means we don't have a skill in it.
No. Your skills are grouped into groups. Here, let me find the list here.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought fortitude was one of the attributes, but it's one of the fields of expertise, which includes the skill of.
oh yeah, I
the
guess
thing
discipline
that you want
means
us to-
fortitude for us.
So it's your fortitude. But
Yes.
what does your fortitude get applied to?
Oh, I believe that's your willpower.
So there's like 3 levels. I get it now.
Right.
I thought it was just.
So
Yeah.
is each expertise like it's permanently linked to one attribute?
So right. So just again, the fields of expertise are this shorthand that they use for the pre-generated characters and for NPCs. So, for example, the movement expertise field contains acrobatics, athletics, sailing, and stealth. So anytime I call for a stealth roll, you're going to use your movement expertise field as the skill, right? So if you had 3 in movement, you would take your acrobatics skill as 3.
And
You
then your
apply that to
agility
your,
attribute.
to the right attribute, which is
Agility.
in this case agility. Yeah. And then and that's your target number.
And are there times when you roll more or less than 2d20? I don't remember.
Yeah. So just to flip back over here, there's a number of things you can spend on. So in addition to momentum, you guys have a stat called fortitude. I believe everyone starts with 3 fortitude.
fortune?
Or fortune. Excuse me, not fortitude. Fortune points. One of the things you can do with a fortune point is add a bonus d20 to a skill test. Right. So you just roll an extra d20 and you lose one of your fortune points. Okay.
And you're saying we start with fortune or regular
Everybody
characters
starts
do?
with 3 unless you have something that says otherwise.
Okay, even our prologue characters.
Yeah.
So
All right.
on this chart or the picture you have up right now, I don't see anything that tells you what attribute relates to the block that we have. Is there anything like that?
On the
Yes.
Oh,
The
That's
chart must exist, but we
the
don't.
skills.
It is
That's
who
why
it
I
is.
was confused because I thought that's what we already
So
had, and now I understand it.
discipline is willpower.
Okay.
Oh, it's willpower. Yeah.
If you look at the skills attributes and their uses,
Right. I see. So I see that, but also, like, how do I know that that is fortitude?
Oh,
We don't have that chart available
so,
to us,
yeah.
I guess.
Kevin, like, I am me list.
Yeah, I'll add it in here real quick. So did you? I mean, yeah.
But the list we have is only for that first level. I think Dave might be asking about the other level.
Right.
The one we would normally.
Yeah, I mean,
you'll
I'm
have
just
to-
asking, like, if I see that discipline is willpower, like, I get that, but then I also need to add that to my expertise, and I don't know what willpower necessarily goes with, like, whether it goes with fortitude or senses or. Like
So
that.
to the right is that chart. Skills, attributes, and their uses.
Oh, I didn't even see that because I was zoomed in. That's what I was missing.
But that doesn't mention the expertises.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
I'm
other list that
right
he's gonna.
Yes, they're right.
Aha. Cool.
Okay.
Got it. Alrighty. Oh, double nines.
So, question from the chat: is this game more or less crunchy than the other games we've played recently? I would say this game more or less crunchy, rules heavy.
I thought you said country, and I was like,
It's
yeah,
a little country,
you
yeah.
know, we're a little bit country.
Yeah, a little bit country. I would say to me it is exactly as crunchy as Edge of the Empire, which I think.
I mean, we did just play Falling Stars, which was pretty.
Sure, not as crunchy as that, but I would
Yeah.
say it is as crunchy as Edge of the Empire, which in my opinion is very crunchy. Okay, so
With smooth edges.
So, did you guys roll your discipline?
Yeah, the number I was going for was 9, and I got 2 9s, so that should be something really awesome.
Okay, so this is a discipline 1 check. So, Dave, since you get 2 successes on a difficulty 1 test, you get to add 1 momentum to the group's total. What else did everybody else? What did everybody else get?
I got 1 success.
And
Anu?
I
rolled an 11 and a 13. I needed it.
Okay, yeah. So you are going to take 3 points of what's it called? Resolve damage, and
That's his mental.
That's his mental damage track. Now, if you have soak, which is called courage, for resolve, then you would subtract that from the damage.
You have courage 1.
So you only take 2 resolve damage.
All right.
Okay. Right. So, like I said, you continued on, but there's grown cold. You can sense that this place is not right. There's no wildlife here at all. There's no chirping of insects. There's no birds. Even the plant life is sparse and almost withered. And the moon shines down on the ground quite visibly because the tree cover is pretty sparse here. Yeah.
So have I lost the trail currently, or?
Yeah. So you come upon a structure like in the picture there, and it looks like the person you're tracking came to rest there. As there's a bit of a pool of blood, and it seems he's leaned against the wall. You can see a smudged blood handprint sort of running down the wall, and a discarded water skin.
Okay. I'll turn to the group and say, the fool! This is clearly a sacred place to Jebel Sag. He should not have come here. If the spirits do not get him, we will kill him.
Is it just the 3 of us at this point? Okay,
so it is.
Go on.
Brothers, the spirits are angry that this white devil infiltrate this most sacred of places. You should hurry. Rid the fort of its presence.
I'll say, Ahanu, sneak behind the structure, and I will approach from the front. We will make sure that he does not escape.
Oh, so this is just like a bit of ruin. It's not really a full structure. It looks like there probably was once a full structure here, but it is it's now basically all crumbled except for this wall. Yeah,
but the creature is not here, right? It's just like some remnants. You said like a water skin.
Yeah, there's a water skin discarded next to the wall where it looks like he stopped to rest, and then apparently continued on. Also, Nick is he just got unfrozen. All right, yeah. So it'll be another survival check to continue on the trail.
Okay.
At the day.
Survival. That was the first one I did, so I think I needed, or maybe the second one.
I think that's the one we just did.
No, that was discipline, and this is survival, and I think I needed 12 for that. I got a 3. So we got 1.
And what's your so we decided survival was
Survival's part of fortitude, and fortitude's part of willpower.
okay. So what is your
That's
fortitude?
not
No,
necessarily.
it's awareness.
Okay. Well, what is your fortitude skill? Because you rolled a 3, so if you got under a 3, you would get 2 successes for that roll.
Right, my fortitude is 1.
By the way, discipline mapped to willpower. I don't know if survival is.
Survival's part of
survival
fortitude.
maps to awareness.
Awareness, yeah.
Fortitude is part of awareness.
I don't think it's exactly 1-to-1.
No, it's not 1-to-1.
Yeah,
Each fortitude skill does not map to the same attribute.
The fields of expertise don't map. The skills map to the.
Oh, the fields don't
attributes.
map at all.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, so normally they're individual skills.
It's my 1,
Yeah.
but
A little
Yeah.
bit confusing. But,
This simplified version of this game is very complex.
well, it's easier for them to write, I guess. They wrote 6 numbers instead of like 20
Yeah,
numbers.
they saved themselves a lot of time.
Fair enough.
Boom! Reviewed.
Fair enough. Okay, so you get the 1 success you needed, and you are able to continue on the trail. You can tell that this figure, by his tracks, is limping. You can tell that he's where before he was moving quickly. It seems that fatigue has set in, and every once in a while you see like a bloody palm print smeared across a tree or hanging on a branch, as he struggled to maintain his forward momentum there. All right.
okay. I'll give the forward motion sign for the team, and
Yeah, can you show us?
I keep doing it, but it's at a frame.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
It happens off camera.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Fair enough.
Say, Athete, are we close?
It looks like he's slowed down. He's definitely getting weaker. We should be on him any minute now.
Okay, 1 second. I'm sorry. Michael is our player, and he is having some technical difficulties. I just need to send him a message.
Then tell him that he's weak. His bloodline is weak. And he will not survive the winter.
I mean, yeah, but he already knows.
Does he?
Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So you continue on through the forest. Situation does not improve, but you come across what seems to be more ruins. Now here, things get even worse, right? So the mist itself seems to move about almost in tendrils in the air, as if pushed by some wind that you cannot see. It's quite a bit cooler here and damper than it was in the forest proper, even though this is almost a clearing by itself. Although it is also overgrown, right? There's moss on all these ruins. There's not a lot of trees themselves, and those ones that do grow are gnarled and twisted. But the ruin itself seems, basically completely collapsed. Constructed of stone. Here and there, you can see surviving pieces of the surface of the structure, but most of it seems to have been washed away by the ravages of time. Now, what do you guys do when you see this? You're not generally used to large structures, although you've seen them before. You don't generally, you inhabit. You're mostly nomadic people. You have a village, but it sort of moves around. You have tents, and even though the moonlight shines down overhead, this place is covered in fog and mist, and it's kind of unsettling.
The white devil dares trespass on the house of the gods. I'll have to speed up and rid the forest of him quickly.
Yeah, so you see down at the base of this structure are what appear to be several bowls and jars of clay with molding pieces of fruit and meat on them.
So just to be clear, and you might have said this, this is something that like we would have never seen before and maybe never even heard of, or
You mean the structure or
the structure? Yeah.
So I mean, you guys know what buildings are. You're not. You're certainly not like stupid.
No, but just like the fact that this is here, like right now in our land, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like,
So you are hunters. You know the lay of the land around your village, and this area is a place that isn't like forbidden, but it's also not some place you ever really go because there's no reason really for you to go here. There's no game. There's not really any food to be had or hunting to be done. There's not really any other natural resources to speak of that are useful to you. So it's a place you just generally don't go. It's not like I said, it's not forbidden, but it's kind of a weird place, and you don't have any other reason to go here, so you just usually don't.
Okay.
So yeah, so you see these sort of clay bowls, which are something you're used to. Your peoples use clay bowls to construct jars and things. These and these are sort of covered in what look like rotting fruits and meats and things like that.
Like when you say rotting, we're talking like days worth, or it's just starting to get like
at least days worth. Some of them are desiccated, probably weeks.
Doesn't seem like something that was left behind by our prey. Tete, think he entered the castle?
I guess another survival check.
No, so you don't need another survival check. You can see the bloody footsteps sort of walk its way up the stairs here in the middle, and another bloody handprint sort of mars one of the stone columns as it leads inside.
Is there like an exit from here, or does he seem trapped in?
You're not sure. I guess I think there's an intuition skill if you want. I thought there was an intuition. Yeah, insight. Sorry, insight, which is part of senses. And senses and intuition maps to, or insight maps to awareness.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that. I have 3 in senses.
There you go.
So I have 9 awareness and 3 senses, so I'm trying to roll a 12 or below.
Yeah, and if you get under a 3 or under, you get 2 successes for that dice.
So I roll 19 and a 7. So
get 1 success. Yeah, so you think that these crumbling ruins, this is probably the entrance, and the way they are situated, you imagine he's probably trapped in there, although you couldn't be sure because they're crumbling ruins, so like there could be exits anywhere. And also the ruins are such that if one was if one wanted to climb the walls, it probably wouldn't be terribly difficult. They might collapse, but they are also not. They're not like smooth. There's plenty of handholds and stuff like that.
all right. Ahanu will kind of grab his club from his back and he says, "Prepare yourself, brothers. I don't think the White Devil will be able to escape these rooms." And I will approach.
Okay.
I'll kind of knock a arrow to my bow and stealth forward.
Sure. Creep
forward, I suppose.
So, so the pale moonlight sort of like it's cast down upon you as you enter these ruins. There's sort of dirt all over the place here. It's sort of like the wind has blown it. No one clearly has been in here in many years. There's rubble all over. There's stones, cracked and intact all over the place. And as you enter, you notice that the trail leads towards what looks like basically the only structure that is even partially surviving in this ruin. There is it's sort of a not too tall a structure. It's sort of round. Part of the roof looks like it's collapsed in, but most of it is not. And over the entrance to this roof or to this sort of structure is a huge stone slab that would serve to seal it off normally. But this slab looks like it has been has sort of fallen askance, so you can kind of crouch to get in through the crack, and you can see in that entrance there's a smear of blood along the ground.
The foolish devil has trapped himself. Now's our time, brothers.
And by the way, it might stand to note that your hair is all standing on end. This place. Well, I forgot. So there are certain things that happen in this game that give me points. I have my own kind of like momentum, and they are called doom points. And a tense or unnerving scene gives me 2 doom points. So, Kim, if you would be so kind as to add 2 to the doom point total. Now, doom points, like your momentum, I can spend for the NPCs to do things. In general, I will save them towards the end. So you can feel a sense of impending and rising doom as my doom point grows towards the end.
I get
it. So, anyways, so I get 2 doom points.
All right, it is done.
It appears to be probably dark inside, except for the ceiling. Somebody gonna? What are you guys doing? You gonna look around or?
I'll like signal for them to follow me, and I will kind of try to sneak inside.
You're gonna go through the front, or
Yeah, are there other entrances or like any ways to look inside?
So there's a hole sort of so it's sort of a domed roof. You could try to climb up and peer inside as well.
You can try to do that.
I'll go for the roof. I've got a ranged weapon. Maybe I can shoot down.
Sure.
Into the building.
Okay, sure. So give me a athletics test, and that is movement, and I assume brawn.
Okay.
Just assuming like that, huh?
Going for a 12.
All right. So you get 2 successes because this is a difficulty 1 test, and those are both under 12. So you get 1 momentum. You see your total there.
This guy's like our momentum mobile.
And so you climb up the side of the building, and you peer inside. You can see that inside, this looks like. So as you view inside, you can see that there's sort of stone furniture and other things, old and mostly broken, and especially around the hole here, ravaged by the weather. Sort of vines and moss drip down. But where you can see inside the room, elsewise, you can tell that the rest of this ruin has probably been looted, because this place has not. There you can see what looks like a stone slab, or almost like a table or a bed that a body might lie on. Is there in the middle of the room, but it is at an angle, right? So it's sort of propped up, like maybe like an operating table that sort of tilts, something like that. It looks clear that this is probably a sepulture, a burial place. And like I said, vines hang down, puddles of water and moss are directly beneath the hole. You can see inside there are stone jars and other boxes made of clay and metal. And this slab, which is metal, there's nothing on it, although it is directly in the center of the room. And again, you can see in the far wall of this room. So you can see that the entrance there, where Anu and Togquos are, is not. There must be some sort of hallway connecting to this room, and there's another doorway out of this room.
But I see no sign of our prey.
You can see. So you can see a pool of blood in front of the slab, or the metal bed, and it seems to have pooled there. You can see what almost looks like the imprint of someone having slipped and fallen down, but there's no body.
Okay, I'll call down to the other 2 quietly. Say, brothers, looks like there is dark work afoot. The spirits of Jebel Sag may have already gotten this soul, but if we proceed, we should be careful. This area should not be taken lightly.
Let us hope the gods have seen fit to leave us some. Hey, brother. Smile. Ahana will, I guess, kind of carefully go through the entrance towards.
Okay, so you slip through a short hallway. Do you guys have any light source? Actually, I don't know if you have.
Is that like do we have like an equipment thing or anything?
No, we don't.
Yeah,
We don't have stuff like that.
Okay, let's say you have torches if you need them. That's fine. So as you raise your torch in this short hallway, you can see that the walls are covered in carvings of otherworldly beasts and demons, things that are terrifying to look at, but they are just carvings. And you can see that the walls are also covered. There are many skulls on the walls, and each of the eye sockets is set with metal and gems.
All right.
So, I don't know if you want to stop and inspect or what, or keep going.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
If Aquos wants to.
All right, sure. Yeah, make a knowledge check. Be difficulty 3.
A knowledge check, difficulty 3. So I need 3 success.
Yep.
And what is my knowledge mapped to? My intelligence? Is that what it is?
Yep.
All right. I'm in. It's not.
Hey,
all right.
guys.
I suppose I'll do it. It's not possible.
Okay,
It is
so
possible.
Well, no, not
this
really.
instance- in
my
this
intelligence
instance,
is
you
really
might
low.
say, well, I don't even want to roll because I could get a 20, which would add a complication to the scene. So, instead of rolling, you can give me 1 doom to fail the test automatically without having to roll.
No, fuck that. I'll roll. It's just I can't succeed.
Yeah, you can. If you roll at 3 or
I
below.
know
you
I
get 2
could, but my
successes.
intelligence is really low. It's gonna be pretty unlikely. And I have no knowledge skill. This is why I was confused because you're saying like something like knowledge maps to intelligence, right? But you said that the skill sets don't map to anything. It's only the skill
So,
within those skill sets that maps to something.
Let me see here. Knowledge might actually not be the name of the
I
skill.
think
You know
it's
what I mean.
lore is probably what you're
So
thinking.
knowledge
Lore-
is one of the skill sets.
Excuse me. Lore is the skill I'm talking about. It was my mistake.
Which is a
Okay.
knowledge skill.
Yes.
Right, it's fine. I don't have any knowledge at all, so it won't matter. I'm just trying to figure out the system.
We just bring Tuckwas along because, like,
But so lore still maps to intelligence?
you notice how he's wearing like a
I don't
red
have
shirt.
that thing.
You know how it's got to be that guy that like gets introduced.
All right.
So eyes.
All right. So lore does map to intelligence.
Okay,
And
great.
lore is part of the knowledge group.
Yeah, that I know. I have no knowledge skills, so that's not what I meant to do. I don't know how that
That's a. Hopefully, no one saw that.
All right, yeah, no,
Hopefully
I
this is not
fail.
recorded.
I fail.
Okay. Nice, Dave. All right. So you have no idea. You don't know anything about these.
Well, why would I want to know anything about them? I just want them.
Oh, I thought you were trying to inspect them. Sure,
I mean,
you can try to pry
I
gems off
guess.
the wall.
Inspect them in my pocket.
Oh, God.
Oh,
What just
oh no.
happened?
Did we get a Michael?
Well, there's a blank box there, so, like, I don't know. It's the same.
I assume he's ruined all the camera placements.
Well,
All right.
It's okay. It'll take me 2 minutes to fix. Keep going.
Okay, great. Okay, so
Well, you...
how much did I break by just coming in here? A lot, Michael. A lot. Okay, so yeah, you can try to pry some gems off the wall if you'd like.
Oh, God. Are we having the Dave thing?
So
When Dave tried to do Roll20, everybody had to refresh like a million times.
Usually it's just me
Everybody could
that
see.
needs to refresh.
Yeah, but then like you
Just
couldn't
hit
see
left
Alex. And, anyway, it's complicated.
Okay. Oh, there he is. Okay,
I can't see Michael at all.
I can
I
see
see him.
Michael, but let's just keep going because we're going to have a.
Can anyone hear me?
We can
Yep,
Yes.
I can hear you.
I can now.
Oh, okay. I see everybody and I hear everybody.
Okay, so Michael, we're gonna have a break in 5 minutes, so let's just figure out that stuff in a minute. So Nick,
I'm gonna try and pry. Well, I don't know. You said they're set in the eye sockets.
yes.
Can I like get some gems out without breaking the skull?
Yeah, sure. You can sort of pry them out.
Is he even from our tribe? Like, do we even know this guy? Like, he's like
Tokos?
ransacking this
Tokos
religious
is definitely
temple?
from your tribe, but he does not have a particularly high intelligence. So he saw shiny.
Say,
He went for shiny.
I say, Tokos, be careful not to anger the gods.
Tokos like
They see what
turns
happened
around,
here.
like Tokos like has his knife in his hand and he's about to pry gems, and he turns around and looks at you and just says, "Cheers," and then he turns back and starts taking out one of the gems.
I would like to hit Tokos with my Savage Glare, which is a special ability.
Okay.
Don't waste our momentum points.
I would like to spend all momentum points
Just
on
a-
Savage
just a-
Glare.
Just a regular glare.
I feel
Don't
like
make it
someone's
savage.
watching me from above.
A somewhat civilized glare. Like a judging glare that says, like, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
That's probably a bad idea. To
Yeah,
pull
so
this
what
out
happens-
We'll
of
see
the
how
eye
this
socket.
plays out, but I don't rate our chances.
So the gemstones pop out.
Not even looking.
The gemstones pop out.
Okay, yeah. So I get like a shiny ruby and a crystal thing, and I like slide them in my pocket.
Sure.
Alright, meanwhile,
Wait, you're wearing pants?
I'll go inspect the pool of blood that was in the center of the room.
Okay, cool. So you can see that as you approach this this table, which is as you approach it, you can see that it is projected out of a sarcophagus, right? So there is something behind it, propping it up and out of the sarcophagus. And on the side of the sarcophagus, on the ground, you see is the lid to the sarcophagus, as if thrown there, or like pushed open.
Alright,
But as I said, that
I like approach with my club, at the ready.
okay, give me an average, which is difficulty 1 observation test.
Survey.
Can I
It's
join
almost
him
certainly
at this
senses
point?
and awareness.
Can I join Hana at this point?
Yeah, sure.
Having gotten my I'm gonna pull out my hatchets, seeing his heightened state of awareness.
Sure.
I need 12. Double 15s.
Oh, good.
I don't see shit.
Okay, no problem.
You go blind.
So you
It's just
approach
a,
the
just a
sarcophagus.
normal pool of blood, guys. I don't know.
You approach the sarcophagus, and you can see that the blood is very fresh. And it is sort of dipped down to I guess, I don't know, inspect it. Something disturb. You hear a noise coming from somewhere else inside the room, but you can't quite identify it. But your ears prick up.
I kind of like half whisper back to Tokos. I'd say, he's here.
Yes. I agree.
Okay, so just to get everybody's bearings here. So Ahanu and Tokos are in the center of the chamber near the sarcophagus, and Ethete is where?
On the roof
Are
still.
you still on the roof? Okay, great.
I was planning on joining them, but I guess do I see anything different from up here? Like whatever Kim sensed, Ahanu sensed.
So you all sort of crouch in the darkness, moonlight sort of streaming in next to you, and you hear a scratching, coming from the side door, and you're all standing on the balls of your feet, frozen, breath caught in your throats, and stumbling from the side door, you see a strange figure. His skin bright in the moonlight, pale as that of the despised settlers. A headpiece or helmet of some sort entirely encloses his head, neck, and upper shoulders, concealing his face entirely, save for the eyes that glow through narrow eye slits. The helmet is metal and covered in strange patterns. Upon his arms, hands, and torso are pieces of some sort of ceremonial armor, made up of mottled silver, set with enameled plates. Everybody, when you see him, you feel dread course through your body. Give me a discipline test, challenging. That's difficulty 3.
Oof.
Discipline.
And that was fortitude.
Discipline is
willpower,
part of
right?
fortitude, and discipline maps to willpower.
Great failure.
So we can't succeed unless we have a fortitude of 3.
Well, you can
Better?
spend a fortune point if you want to get an extra dice.
Wait, you mean a
No,
Oh, yeah,
fortune.
fortune.
A fortune. So let me.
each one of us has 3? Is that what you said?
Each one of you has 3. Yep.
All right. I'm totally spending one of my fortune points.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I'm gonna roll 3d20.
Same.
Still managed to fail for Hudson.
Um,
How do I try
And then I think momentum.
I'll think about what I want to roll before we do that. All right.
might actually make.
I got 2 successes, but I need 3.
I got 1 success.
Isn't rolling 3 or below 2 successes?
So how much? Yeah,
It's
it depends
below
on-
your expertise number,
Oh.
and my fortitude is 1, so I needed to roll a 1.
Yeah.
And I did not.
Yep.
I only got a single success anyway.
Okay, so I think you all probably fail, right?
Yeah, we're all dead.
Okay, so each of you suffers 2 mental trauma, which again is called resolve, and you suffer a, I think it's called just a trauma, which is basically a wound, right? So if you think in Star Wars, it's like a critical wound.
Uh-huh.
As you see this creature, now the wound, the trauma makes all mental tests 1 step harder. So any further intelligence or willpower checks, such as discipline, will be 1 step harder. But as you see him, you have the feeling that this creature is wholly unnatural and not either sorcerous or otherworldly in nature. The way that its sort of helmet is designed and the patterns in it just strike through you a feeling of deep fear. So
Jeez.
now we're gonna so we have to start combat. We have to roll initiative, but I forget exactly how to do it exactly. So
Is Cho'Gall here too?
Chogan? No, we're probably just gonna have Michael.
Oh, I get it. You guys were setting us up the whole time. Michael had no technical difficulties. He is the guy in the creepy otherworldly armor, and you're just fucking with us.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so normally the player characters act first in a round, but I can spend a point of doom to have a certain character of mine act before you guys. So I will do that. So Kim, if you could subtract 1 from my doom total there. This creature raises his hand, and the shadows seem to coalesce around his fingers, and he just sort of wipes them to the side, and there's a huge stone slab next to the door, and it like slides into place, blocking the exit.
I'm nervous.
Yeah. So having done that, he is going to make the. Well, actually, he can't make an attack yet. So that's what he does. What do you guys do?
I shoot him.
All right, go for it. You guys can go in any order you want.
Well, so
All right.
what are the kinds of actions? Is that here anywhere?
There's an action economy which you don't need to go into too deep quite yet, but in general you can move and do some other things. But the meat of your action is going to be standard action, which can be assist, attack, something called exploit. You can ready, you can recover, try to get some of your bearings back. You can basically double move.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tete wants to shoot an arrow, so.
Sure,
Yeah,
go for it at that day.
Okay, so how does combat work?
So it's going to be a regular test. You make a ranged combat test to shoot your bow. When the enemy if you hit the enemy, he can choose to defend it, or I guess when you choose to attack him, he can choose to defend it, which normally takes a momentum point. It's normally a difficulty 1 test to attack. So, sorry, let's start again. Simple. A difficulty 1 test to attack it.
For me, or
yeah, for you.
oh, okay, okay.
Threatening do?
So I think like ranged weapon is a skill. So you...
Yeah, you're just rolling a ranged weapon check.
Okay, so ranged weapon check would be agility and combat, I'm guessing.
I'd be
Totally.
surprised if it is.
Which is 13, so it's the
Oh,
same.
actually,
I'm almost positive it's awareness and ranged combat.
No, it's combat and coordination.
Combat and coordination, sorry.
Combat and coordination. Okay. Cool. So it's the same kind of roll. The things, because I have like my bow attack on this character sheet that has, some info, including like the 5d6 or the 5 like eagle symbol. Do I need to worry about rolling that now or no?
So did you hit?
I assume that's your damage.
Right? So this is just a hit, right?
Yes.
Okay. I missed terribly. So,
okay, so the arrow sort of streaks over his shoulder, but the figure doesn't seem to react in any way at all. It doesn't look at you. Its gaze is fixed firmly upon Ahanu and Tokos. What are Ahanu and Tokos doing?
So what is a threaten attack exactly?
So threaten is you. It's basically like, think of like an intimidate kind of a thing in D&D. Now there's a bunch of different ways you can do this. In fact, a bunch of them have to do with situational type of things. So if you've killed 3 or more enemies in an encounter, you can make what's called a stain the soil red attack, where like you like have just like slaughtered a bunch of people and you like roar and try to intimidate everybody around you. Or if you've just like cut off the head of the boss or the lieutenant, you can raise it up and try to intimidate people that way. But a threaten attack is basically targets their resolve and tries to get them to run away or whatever. Surrender.
And that's basically the only outcome that it would be, is you like scared them off.
Yeah. So it's an attack that goes against their resolve, and you try to
But I mean, resolve isn't for anything, right? Like, I mean, a fancy guy like this, does it matter bringing down his resolve? Does this do anything for us?
You might still be
you
afraid.
think you can scare him off?
I don't.
It doesn't seem like you have
asking if resolve has to do with anything else, basically.
It's like
But it
another
doesn't
health
sound
pool.
like it is.
It's. I mean, if you can attack him physically, or you can attack his vigor or his resolve.
Yeah, well, I guess.
If you don't want to do that, that's fine.
Look,
No,
if he was
I'm
so
not sure.
brave, why has he been running from us for days?
Well, I don't know that this is him, right? Anyway, all right. Let's just attack that guy's vigor, because forget
All
the
right.
throwing him off thing.
So regular attack.
Wait, is this the like devil that we've been tracking?
Well, you can't be sure. He certainly wasn't dressed like this before, but his skin is quite pale.
Does he look?
I
wounded?
don't know.
Good enough for me.
I'll let you
Well,
make an
you already
observation
shot an
test
arrow
on
at him.
your-
We know
on
it's
your
good
roll-
enough
on
for
your
you.
turn.
We know it's good enough for you. Well, anyway, so it says that I have 2 hatchets, but the only thing listed are throwing axes. So I'm assuming that's...
Yeah, those are the same thing. Now you can, well, we can get into dual wielding later, but anyways, you can use momentum to make an extra to make an extra standard action, and if you're dual wielding, that's cheaper to do.
All right. What do you mean it's cheaper to do?
So normally it is, I believe, 2 momentum, and in
I'm looking at the momentum spends, and I don't see anything.
right. So, well, so why don't you make your first attack here, and I will figure out this.
Okay. Sorry. So what, Dave? What was it for a ranged attack? Which I'm guessing is the same for me with my throwing.
It was coordination and combat.
Okay. Coordination and combat. All right. Let's see if I can figure that out. All right. I can do that. All right. That's 2 hits.
Nice.
Okay. So like I was saying, normally it costs, you can give yourself an extra action if you want by spending 2 momentum, but since you're wielding 2 weapons, you can do that for 1 momentum instead.
So can I just use the momentum that I just gained? Unless this is harder to hit than 1 hit.
No, this is 1 hit to hit, and yes, you can use the momentum you've just gained.
All right. Yeah, Michael, I get it, but the point was, hatchet to me implies like a melee weapon, and I wasn't sure if I was allowed to use these throwing axes as melee weapons or not. So shut the fuck up. So anyway.
So by the way, instead of instead of spending momentum to get an extra action, you can also spend doom to achieve the same effect if you'd like.
Oh yeah, sure. But can you explain it? Do I need any of the stats from my weapon?
Right. So you hit, so you're going to roll damage now.
Well, okay, wait. First, should I do my other attack roll first, or
let's do them one at a time. Let's do them one at a time.
So
you
damage is the eagle symbol thing.
Yeah. How many? So you're going to roll that number of d6s.
Okay. Sure.
Now, basically,
it does because there's no melee option for it. It's like it says you have to throw it. So
okay, so
the handles are greased.
So Tokos, this is a good roll. This roll totals to 5. Basically, the way it works is a 1 or a 2 you add together. Any 1s or 2s you add up. 3s or 4s you discard, and 5s and 6s are 1 plus you get the effects of your weapon. So I don't know if your weapon has any effects, does it say?
My weapon has effects. So this is what my weapon says. It says 2 throwing axes, M, reach 2, 4 eagle, 1 H, thrown, vicious 1.
Okay, so vicious. Vicious means you get to inflict damage via, in addition to your regular damage. So it's like vicious X, right? It's vicious 1 or vicious 3 or something. So that's the extra damage you would deal.
Okay, so it's vicious 1, so then it's 6.
And it's 1 extra damage. Yep, so it's 6 damage total. So that's a grievous hit. In any situation, if you deal someone, what's that?
What does the 1H mean?
One-handed.
One-handed.
Okay.
So in any situation where you deal someone 5 or more damage, you automatically cause a wound to them.
Nice.
So you run up to him and you like slam this axe into his chest, and you can see like blood sort of like trickle out around the armor. But
wait, so he didn't throw it?
Oh, I didn't. Oh, you were throwing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you throw it,
axe. Jesus
and
Christ!
It spins around end over end and lands with a thud in his chest, and you can see blood start to trickle out around it. And do you want to make a second attack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course I do. With moves like that.
Kill him, Thokos.
All right, that's 1 hit.
Okay. So roll damage again.
Yes, sir. I'm about to do so. Wait, so that is a 3? No, a 4. Plus I activate the vicious.
Yep.
So 5.
5. Yep. So the other axe like sort of spins around and like the other one like slams into his other shoulder and they're like crossed in the middle. The figure seems not to react to either of this. And Ahanu, what are you going to do?
Say, good job, Tokos. We'll get him, and then I charge him and hit him with my club.
Okay, sure, go for it.
While he's rolling that, so when you... Yeah, go on. Go on, Kim.
No, finish whatever you want to do now.
Oh, just the wounds that you're talking about, are these... I mean, okay, since you've been comparing it to Star Wars, unlike in Star Wars, are you just saying there's like a standard effect or type of wound? It's not like a list, right?
Yeah, no. There's just one kind of wound, and they all. So a physical wound makes all your physical skills 1 step harder. A mental wound makes all your mental skills 1 step harder. And once I think you get to 4 wounds, you are incapacitated, and if you get to 5 wounds, you are just dead.
Got it.
Something like that.
So I was going to be able to make like an observation check to see if
Yeah, sure, go for it.
already hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So observation was senses 12s. So 1 success on.
Okay, yeah. So you can see that even next to the wounds that Thokos has inflicted on this creature. There is blood like trickling down his leg and clearly like pooling around his foot. So you think he was injured even before this battle began.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So seeing Tokos, slice him and dice him, Ahanu runs up to finish him off. I need a melee attack, right? It's melee.
Yep.
Agility, combat, 13. So I get 1 success.
Okay, yeah, roll damage.
Club does 3. All right. So
that's 3 damage, and you activate effects.
So because I got 2 sixes, can I activate 2 effects?
You activate all your effects if you roll any 5s or 6s.
Oh, okay. So a club has stun and knockdown.
Okay, sure. So you can activate this stunned, but he is not knocked down. He doesn't get knocked down. Like you slam him with your club, but he doesn't go down with a force that would you think should knock any man down, but he does not. His knees sort of like bend a bit, but he just like sort of takes your blow. All right.
Quick question. So if the effect of a weapon is like vicious 1, like Tokos's is, and you get 2 6s, it adds 2 damage, or does the effect only get triggered once?
So all of your effects trigger once if you roll any effect dice. You don't trigger effects more than once.
Do you get vicious 1 twice, or
no,
just once?
You get it once.
Okay.
You get it once. Yep. Okay. So, so this creature like looks down at its chest at these 2 axes, looks at Thokos, even though Ahanu is right next to him, and raises his hands and just kind of grabs the air and starts to pull apart. Tokos, you can feel forces sort of grip the sides of your body and begin pulling your body apart. And as you look down, you can see like a fissure open up in the center of your chest, and your body is torn in half. And the rest of you see blood sort of shower out of Tokos's corpse as it is pulled literally in half.
Rip.
Yeah. And so you are all going to take. So he's going to roll.
Tokos, star that shone too brightly.
Okay, so you are all going to take.
I did attack the shit out of that guy, but
5. You're all going to take 7 mental damage or 7 resolve.
I'm not going to take nothing because I'm dead.
So even with my 1 courage, I think that brings me to 0 resolve.
Right. Okay. So the only question I have is if Ethete is going to retain enough of himself to run away. Is he?
Good question.
Ahanu like, no, Tokos, not like this. Ethete, run! Warn the others.
Ethete, are you? What's your reaction to this?
I think I'm at 0 exactly. I think I took 1 resolve before, and then so we're taking 7.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, minus your courage.
Oh yeah, I'm at 1. I think.
Okay, great. So your courage bears you through this. So we'll say you hear this inhuman scream. Ahanu tries to scream something to you, but it just comes out as a roar. And the camera pans to the blood as it spatters across like Ethete's face, and it sort of zooms out, and you just see Ethete like a black figure in the moonlight, like sprinting back out of the ruins towards the village. And that is where we'll leave the prologue. So let's take a 3-minute break, and then we will jump back into the rest of the adventure. All right. Well, welcome back. Hope you guys were excited by the prologue. We'll jump back.
I was a little sad about that guy who died.
Yeah, Tokos. Cool.
Yeah,
he had it coming. He stole some gems.
But he threw some axes.
Yeah, no, he definitely got what he was angling for. Did we change over the names, Kim?
I did.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's go ahead and introduce your characters. Basically, your characters now are. Michael, you can't make your name that long.
I know. I'm fixing it.
Okay. So you guys are in the outpost of Velitrium, which is a border fort on the for the kingdom of Aquilonia, I believe. And you are all basically, I assume, mercenaries. Come here to help. There are Pictish incursions into these lands every once in a while, so you are here to provide defensive stability to the fort. And you're here to earn a sort of somewhat meager salary as guards and hired adventurers and mercenaries. So yeah, go ahead.
I don't know about everybody else, but I have a specific background that's like totally against that. Would I be here?
Yeah, you would. So I mean, you'd have to modify it. So you have a pre-made character. You have to figure out a reason. I assume the baseline reason for all of you is money, mercenary type activity.
I mean, I'm a huge adventurer and thrill seeker, and there can be things that would attract me. I just wasn't.
Yeah, you don't have to be here as a mercenary. You can just be here as an adventurer and thrill seeker. That's totally fine.
What if I just like killing?
That's fine. There's plenty of killing to be done here. All right.
What if I'm a mercenary?
Then,
well, do you like killing or not? Because it's important.
I don't have a problem with killing, but I'm not some murderous asshole.
Okay, so why don't you guys? You're all sort of standing in the in the bailey of this fortress. It's not a terribly large fortress. Just a couple of things. Well, the scene is you're all listening to this commander sort of drone on about the current situation and this and that and the duty to look over the lands and what is expected of you, but you're all sort of not really paying attention, and you are looking each other over, sort of eyeing each other up. There are a few other people here, but the four of you seem to be the only real competent ones in this batch of recruits, for lack of a better term. So why don't we go down the line and give us a brief introduction to your character, what you look like as well as what you're about, maybe.
All right. So as you guys look around, you see Kellen, who seems to stand out a little bit, mostly because unlike most people, he is dressed as a pit fighter. Most people wear kind of full armor. Kellen is kind of wearing the light armor of a pit fighter. It's a kind of shoulder piece of metal armor that just covers his shoulder, upper arm, kind of like the top of his chest, and otherwise he's rather lightly armed. He's a kind of tall, muscular. You can see a series of scars and old wounds across his body. Obviously, he has seen a fair amount of fighting in the fighting pits, but he somehow or another freed himself from that life, and obviously is here trying to make a buck.
Michael,
another person.
Okay,
I can. I'll jump in. Eyeing the rest of you cautiously from maybe a bit of a distance is a youth of about 17, sandy blonde hair, about mid-average height, who is plainly dressed, clearly not very wealthy, with light armaments, a knife. Well, it might be a sword rolled up among a bedroll that he has over his shoulder. And the most notable fact is that he has a bird on his shoulder. And
what kind of bird?
A raven. And it seems that...
Raven?
What?
Raven?
A raven?
Like a blackbird?
Yeah, he cut out for a second.
With a jackdaw. That sums it up a little bit.
okay, cool.
So Sorry, I wasn't aware Kim was done. I was waiting for him to pass the baton. So away from the main group and kind of in the shadows is this more slight figure. He seems, in contrast to many of the other members here, of a smaller stature, slimmer, but his clothes are baggier, and he's not wearing any type of heavy armor. And he seems to be staying out of the light. If you were close enough to him, you'd smell like the sour smell of maybe alchemical or poisonous reagents that kind of belie his sorcerous nature. And Nicomedes is he's currently disinterested in picking under his nails with the tip of his dagger as he kind of eyes all the other mercenaries and sizing them up. Yeah, and that's it.
Okay.
All right. The casual observer would almost think that none of us are in a group at all, because every single one of us is like standing separate from the rest of the group, observing. There's like 4 different dark, shadowy corners, and we're all just
We're in a very dark room with 4 corners. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I mean, that's about it.
It's a closet.
So
It's a mixer dance. We're all just too shy to.
Nobody's gonna actually ask.
Yeah.
Simeon's just looking for love.
All right. That's good to know. So off in the not yet discussed a 4th corner.
Kellen
the
stands
shadows.
right smack in the middle. He's not some.
Is another fellow. He's got like real dark brown hair. Not too tall. A little bit muscular sort of, but it's hard to tell because he's wearing a lot of layers. There's a lot of like maybe sort of leather and cloth kind of stuff. Very dark colors, grays and browns and like hunter green. Very very foresty motif he's got going on there. And he seems a bit standoffish in the sense of like he's sort of casually looking at everybody, but it doesn't seem like he's that interested, right? People aren't holding his attention. But yeah, that's right. But you guys notice also that he's being purposefully barred off from the rest of you. Those background noises are interesting. By the 2 dogs that are at his feet. They look a little bit mangy, right? They're rough around the edges. Not necessarily the most well fed, but you can see like the outlines of the taut sinews below their sunken flesh, right? These are rough and tumble pooches.
Blurry dog.
God,
What breed of dog are these?
What breed of dog are these? These are
Like poodles?
fucking. They're like crazy.
There's sinews.
What world is this we're living in?
Hyboria? What's the question?
I don't know what like.
So it's like
universe
a hy-
this is
Dogs.
taking
They're
place in.
regular kinds of dogs. I don't know.
Okay, well, these are like Hyporian, like stray mutts. Like you don't know. They're like they're a mix of Hyporian, some hunting and racing dogs and
poodles.
poodles, exactly. Their tails are a little bit unusual.
Okay. All right.
They call it a doodle.
All right. So the commander's sort of droning on about what's expected of you. You'll be paid in accommodations, room and board, coin equivalent to 1 gold per week. Instructed to report to the alehouse each evening before a pre-nightfall sojourn out into the river to scout for signs of Pictus invasion. And eventually he kind of, trails off to a stop. Doesn't really dismiss you, but begins like inspecting a dispatch on his desk, and then kind of like looks up and says, "Oh, well, you're all dismissed. Obviously."
So, wait, what did he say?
You're all dismissed.
But you're all dismissed.
It seems you get the distinct impression that he's given this same speech probably several times this week, and wasn't really enthralled by his duty.
All right, so what are we supposed to do? Like, so he told us where to like meet and stuff like that. Where do we go? Where do we go to fight?
So, does Kellen ask him? Is that?
Yeah, like what now?
He kind of like looks up and he says, "Well, yeah, you're all dismissed. Like I said, you can report to the ale house, I guess, before nightfall, and make ready for the sortie out into the, what did I say, river?
We leave in the morning.
No, pre-nightfall." He like picks up like a scroll. He says, "Pre-nightfall sortie to scout for signs of Pictish invasion." Weren't you listening?
Not really.
Sure. All right, yeah.
Says,
I'll head
what
to
are you doing until then? That's up to you.
I'll head to the Yell House then. Yeah.
Okay. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm gonna go on a pre-sortie sortie.
To
I will cautiously move towards the alehouse with.
Got to get to the Yell House quick because there's only 4 dark corners in there. So like, if you don't get there, you might not get one.
Did the majority of the other mercenaries head towards the ale house? Because he kind
yes, there's only like a couple other people, and they look like they're like
Dead.
these are clearly like
They're all
they're
wearing red shirts.
Yeah, they're like these are not like real people. They're like farmers that like
Wow.
bought a cut rate.
Whoa.
Farmer
Oh, I'm a farmer.
Damn.
like you've got a name.
Well, he is wearing a red shirt. Though.
Yes.
Fair
But
enough.
I don't have a last name.
So, Kellen, I will tell you this: you have been in this outpost for about a week now, and what you've seen is that the morale of the local garrison is quite low. There have been several raids by Picts in the area. In fact, all of the nearby folk from the farms and the nearby buildings outside the keep, which serve as like a town, have come inside the keep for safety, and they've been here since you arrived. They've all been driven back from the banks of the Thunder River. No, you are not Picts. So Picts are more or less, like these native people. Think somewhere between maybe from Earth, like Celts or
No, I got that. But
Savages.
Like, so what the fuck are we?
So you are various nations. Yeah.
Civilized folk.
If you don't know, Aquilonian maybe would be the default. I think Nicomedes
It just says that I'm from the Pictish wilderness, so I thought that meant that like I was a Pict.
You might be natively a Pict, but you live in more civilized lands. Then
I'm a
your
I'm a
ethnicity
Sumerian.
might be Pictish.
Something like that.
What are you? Sumerian?
Sumerian.
Yeah. So that is the race of not race, the
Cimmerian.
Yeah.
Conan.
Yeah, Conan the Cimmerian.
Yeah, barbarian.
Yeah.
I happen to be
A
from
Northman.
a civilized area, unlike the rest of you. Nemedia.
I think Nicomedes might also be from Nemedia. I'm not sure.
Oh, nice.
Or maybe is he from Stygia? Anyways. Michael,
I
you there?
know.
Yeah, I'm trying to find if.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
it doesn't.
Let's say you're from Stygia then, which is a place of ill repute.
Sounds about right.
Nobody
Okay.
trusts Stygians.
I mean, should we?
Well, considering the 3 of you are all like standing in some dark corner trying to hide your faces, I'm not sure I
So
trust
are you.
anybody here.
No, he's not. He's right in the middle.
I think I,
He's the fourth corner.
specifically said, "Oh well, I'm the only one who didn't say he was like crouching off in some dark corner under a table."
I said I was a little apart. I'm not in the corner necessarily. Just cautious. Just cautious.
He's
I
in the
don't know you.
sub-corner. In the sub-corner.
Yeah. Section C.
I mean, I think once the group like breaks up, or like the main group, I'm gonna head over to like Kellen and be like, "You look like a guy who likes to kill things."
Say,
Guy.
I've made the rounds. What's it to you?
Just want to chat about killing. You know.
I think that was clear from his opening line.
You kill here often?
Yeah. So we, thought,
as often as I can.
Well, all these rubes out here, they look like they've barely killed 10, 20 people. You look like a guy who's put his hands around a few throats,
Everyone has to start somewhere, I guess.
So I was thinking maybe, we can get a little group going. People who are going to survive the killing and do the killing.
This is awkward.
Well, I'm sure this little sortie will separate the chaff
from the other chaff.
From the slightly stronger chaff.
It's all chaff.
Yeah, it's chaff all the way down. Okay, so as you're talking, you guys hear a cry from outside the walls, and you can see the guardsmen who are on guard sort of like stand to attention, and you can see them all sort of like looking over the wall, trying to peer at something outside.
Can we like go to the wall? Is there a way
Sure, yeah. You guys, the wall is accessible with by a stair. It's not hard to get up. You guys, who wants to go to the wall? Everyone wants to go to the wall.
Yeah, let's go. Let's have a look.
All right, so Kellen will run over to the wall. Is anybody not going to the wall? That's a better question.
What? I'm not sure if we were still here or not. I was kind of confused.
Yeah, nobody got into the house yet. Everything's.
So we're all just in the tower right now.
Yeah, so it is like a proper keep. It's not a huge fortress, but it is, it's got walls,
right, and we're still in it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Fine. I suppose I'll sort of mosey on over to the wall.
Okay. So as you approach the wall, you hear another whoop emerge from the distance. As you look out over the plain, so sort of outside the fortress, there is a river. It's not exactly like the picture here, but it's close enough for illustration. But so there is sort of a river not too far away, and there is a forest that kind of runs perpendicular. The edge of the forest runs perpendicular to the river, and you hear like sort of a whoop escape from the forest, and you see the figures of two men exit the forest line. One seems to be badly wounded, and the other is helping carry him. The one who's wounded seems like barely conscious. He's kind of stumbling forward. They both seem to be wounded at least a little bit, and they're clearly garbed as Velitrium scouts.
Which means
the one who's wounded is kind of being dragged, his head down and his other arm hanging limply at his side. Give me a challenging observation test to anybody who wants to inspect them more closely.
How far away is this like forest edge from the wall?
Maybe a quarter mile.
And okay.
So observation. For me, observation, like it would be. So like I don't have the blocks like of expertises like.
Sure, I'll flip back over to that page so we can check
It's senses and awareness.
Senses maps, and so observation maps to awareness. Okay,
No,
yeah,
like-
I'll do it.
I got
Because
two successes.
I made my character, I don't have blocks.
Oh,
Like,
so lucky you.
So observation is awareness.
Oh, you don't have expertise. So you just use.
So observation is just a
Oh,
skill.
I see how it works now. Okay, but focus. How does focus play into things?
So focus is the number. If you roll under that, you get 2 successes. So there's expertise, which is the number you're going to add to your stat to get your target number. And focus is if you roll under your focus, if you roll your focus or under, you get 2 successes instead of the regular one.
And what number is your?
So for the rest of you, your focus is equal to your expertise.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna try. You said it was a 3.
Yep. No, sorry, a 2. I think 2.
Two
Challenging.
success needed.
I think I got 2 successes.
I have succeeded twice.
Okay.
So did I.
I need to get under an 8.
Okay. And what is Kellen? What is your expertise? Did you get 3 successes actually?
No, my expertise and senses is only 1. So.
Okay. Nicomedes, did you succeed 3 times?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I only have. This is the sheet you sent me. It doesn't have right? It doesn't have any. Okay.
So here, let me just I'll explain it again. It'll serve as an explanation for our viewers if they're just dropping in. So the pre-made sheets are simplified is one word for it. So basically, they have all of the skills in the game grouped into blocks called fields of expertise. There, right?
So senses, I have a 1.
Right. So if you go all the way to the right on this thing I'm showing in Roll20 now.
Oh, I didn't realize there was more to the right. Okay.
You can see there's senses. This covers the character's ability to perceive, encompasses insight, observation, and thievery.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a 3. If you have 3 in senses, you have 3 in insight, 3 in observation, and 3 in thievery as skills. Now, when you roll, you're going to take your skill and the associated attribute. So if you look on the chart there, observation is a awareness skill. So you take your observation stat plus your awareness stat plus your observation skill, add them together, and it gives you your target number. Trying to roll your d20s under the target number.
Got it. Okay. So
if you roll under your focus, which is in your case is equal to your expertise in that field, so observation would be a 3. You'd have 3 focus. If you roll under your focus, you actually get 2 successes.
You keep saying 3, but I have a 1 in senses.
Oh, sorry. Then you still rolled a 1, so you're still good. But
okay. So my awareness plus my senses is a 10. So one of my dice is under.
Right. So you get 2 successes from that 1 dice since it's under your focus.
1 is like a crit.
Yeah,
like a double.
Cool. Right. So, all right. All that explained. All right.
Hey, that man is bleeding.
So you can all individually see that several arrows protrude from the unconscious person, and the first is holding a hatchet at the ready as he tries to drag his friend.
Yes, wrong X.
A victim of the Picts, no doubt.
Yeah, I give a nudge to. Is it Simeon or Simeon?
Simeon sounds good to me.
Okay.
I don't know.
I give a nudge to Simeon. See the guy with the arrows? He's dying.
Right. So the guards on the wall begin to shout their names. Apparently, Hauk and Titus.
Okay. Never mind. Move on. I thought for a moment you just meant they were each like shouting out their own name.
Will no one go and help these 2 men?
Yeah, go on.
So is not interested in helping.
So as they rush out from the forest line, you can see them turn and head back, rush back towards the forest, just as a mob of painted picked warriors charge out of the tree line at an angle, trying to cut them off from the fort in safety.
All right.
With a whoop, they sort of wheel back towards the forest and pursuit.
Well, I mean, those guys are a lost cause, so let's stay here in the fort.
It's too late for them.
The guards on the wall begin to rush, like trying to string their bows together. A few of them loose arrows towards the warband before it heads back towards the forest. What do you guys?
How far away are these guys?
About a quarter mile. So maybe I don't know what's it.
Jesus Christ!
I
mean, plus the time to get out of the fort and like across the river or whatever. It is.
No, it's not across the river. The river is sort of
on the same side of this.
Quarter mile be okay. They're like firing long.
Yeah, quarter mile is what, like a couple of football fields? I think so. Anyways,
like 300.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So,
Simeon will say,
I can't like throw my sword that far, so hang on.
If we get to them right after the Picts kill them, we might be able to get some good loot.
So
that is your thought at this moment? To rob the dead bodies of these poor scouts?
Simeon, no. We're here to make corpses, not rob them.
Well, you rob them after you make them. But...
I make the corpses so that I can rob them.
What honor is there in this?
None. There's no honor for this youngin.
So while the guards are notching their arrows to their longbows. And these guys are debating about whether or not to rob corpses. Chatan stands up and just kind of fast walks to the exit of the fort, and there's a short low whistle, and his two dogs get up and go bounding after him.
Okay, sure. So that's fine. You can definitely you can see that the guardsmen, some of them are frozen by indecision. You can see the commander sort of stride up. You can be headed towards the door already. That's fine. Yeah, what are your dogs' names? That's a better question.
Fluffy.
Don't worry about my dog names.
Fido and.
Don't worry about my dog's names. It's not important.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so so you're sort of headed towards the gate. The commander's sort of sees what's going on and hears the picked warband outside, and he sort of shouts "Close the gates! Close the gates!" And as he does, the men sort of turn and jeer him. Different shouts coming to send a sortie out to save these men. That closing the gates will trap them to certain death. And he sort of freezes. You can see he's peaked upon indecision, not sure what to do. Morale already low.
What kind of gates are these? Are they just big doors that can be barred from the other side?
No. So there is a what's it called? Portcullis.
Mm-hmm.
There's no moat or anything, but there's an iron portcullis, and there's a wooden door that can be closed behind that.
Okay.
So yeah, he seems Kellen, or actually, any of you guys can make I think warfare is a skill here, warfare check, to see if they can determine the tactical situation.
What is
warfare is part of combat?
Warfare is part of combat, and I believe it's intelligence.
All right, sure. I need 10s.
All right, so you get a success. So that's all you need. So, Kellen, you can tell that the commander is caught in sort of a hard place here. Either he sends a sortie out to try to save these men, in which case he is very likely to lose as many as he would gain, at the least, or he can order the gates closed and keep the fortress locked up tight, but certainly lose the morale of his men even more.
Say, Commander, is this not the best time to engage them while they've exposed themselves?
He kind of looks around. He says, "Yes, of course. Well, certainly. Would you be willing to venture out and save these men?"
Well, there's no honor in hiding behind these walls.
He says, "Very well. Gather some men and head out before we close the doors."
All right, I gather the three nearest men.
Yeah, the three nearest men
and his two dogs,
and a bird.
The dog's name is Chili and Chili Cheese.
Yeah, he looks Chili and Chili Cheese are the names of the dogs.
Dogs don't have names, bro. Dogs don't have names.
That's me.
Okay, so the commander looks relieved that he can get off easy by sacrificing these 4 new recruits and seal up the fortress. So he says, quickly, before the doors close. And so, Kellen, you, point to the 4 other able-bodied recruits with you. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, what do the rest of you guys do?
Yeah, sorry. Where did you leave off with the guard? He is closing the doors, but we're trying to get people out, or?
So Kellen has sort of convinced him that sending a party out to try to rescue these men would be wise. The commander, seeing a way to risk only a few souls.
Oh, it's going to be us. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Agrees, and Kellen sort of points the rest of you out to follow him, I guess.
See, I knew this guy was all about killing. Let's go.
Simeon will make sure that he gets out of the fort before the door closes.
Okay, great. Okay, so you kind of step out of the fort just before the portcullis slams down behind you, and you can see you can hear the hoots of the war band in the forest in front of you, and I guess you guys are going to trot off across the field.
Yeah,
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no. It's like an open field. There's no like cover or like tall grass.
There are several buildings which constitute the town. There's only there's about 10 buildings. Some of them just farmhouses. Some of them one's like an inn, but they're all more or less abandoned at this point because the populace has fled inside the keep.
Sure.
So where are we? Like, where are we headed exactly, or what was the plan? Like, where are the picks?
Well, I don't know. Ask your leader here.
I mean, I'm not really so into following people. I'm heading.
I guess I feel like I missed. I had to step away. I feel like I missed. If you said like the picks like came out of the field, they were attacking the two guys on the ground, and then what happened?
So the two guys kind of ran out of the forest towards the fort. The Picts came out of the forest from a different place at an angle to try to cut them off, like running. So so the two guys turned back towards the forest for safety, I guess, because they were clearly going to get cut down in the open field.
How many Picts are there?
So you saw about 20 racing across the field, but it certainly seemed like there might have been more in the forest.
And the two guys did get killed?
No, so they disappeared back into the forest.
So we'll just distract them so those two guys can come to the village or something.
Well, so the two guys seem to have fled into the forest, and the Picts have followed into the forest behind them.
Right.
All right. Well, so then I'll just make my way towards the forest then.
Okay, cool. All right. So step into the forest here. So you step into the forest. Does any of you have survival skill? I think Catan does.
Yep.
And Simeon does?
I do have survival skill.
Okay. So as you step into the forest, you find things are eerily quiet. There's certainly no birds chirping. The insects have all gone quiet, and you can see on the ground are many footsteps from the warband that you're now behind. What is the strategy here? What's the marching orders? I mean, you've all sort of followed Kellen and Catan out of the fortress. But I don't know how many of you have gotten a chance to speak to each other.
I'll approach Kellen and say, I don't think the four of us can take 20 picks.
I say, with that attitude, perhaps not. But I've faced worse odds in the pits.
Wait, the pits or
the fighting pits?
Okay.
Well, okay. I just think that this could get bad.
If the Picts are busy chasing our two compatriots, then we can take them by surprise. Slay half their number before they even know that we're on them.
That seems fair.
You make a compelling argument.
So, like, you're saying like there's a bunch of like footprints and stuff like that. It's not gonna be hard to like track them.
Not hard to track the warband themselves, but maybe if you are tracking someone else, that could be a bit harder. Right? If you wanted to track the woodsmen themselves, right? That certainly would not be as easy.
Wait, the two guys, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
You think it's harder to track the guy that's like dragging his unconscious companion through the forest?
Easier to track than the 20 men, yeah.
I mean, harder to track them as well.
So the 20 men make a lot of,
You said easier.
That easier.
Sorry, maybe I may have worded it wrong. It's easier to track the 20 men than the 2 men.
Okay.
Even though one is dragging the other.
That's fine.
Okay, I want to attempt to track the 2 men.
Sure. Okay, give me a survival check. This is going to be challenging.
Which is 2 or 3?
2.
Nice. I get 3 successes.
Okay, so you're going to add 1 to the momentum. So, hearing the whoops and calls in front of you, you can see that the men have sort of veered off to the side as soon as they entered the forest. away from the river, and you think you can start to follow the trail, though through the trees, somewhat distant, but still you can see them. You can see the movement of figures running through the forest. It's not going to be an easy chase, but we will leave that for next week as we pick up the trail.
Oh, come on!
That's all for tonight.
Cliffhanger.
Even after we started all late, I was like settling in for the long
Yeah, I wanted to kill things.
Well, we'll have to leave it for next week. That's all right. We got the prologue down. I thought that was exciting.
Yeah, that was great. I love that.
You could pick a fight with Chili and Chili Dog.
They don't got names.
It's chili and chili cheese.
Oh, Chili Cheese.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, we'll continue the adventures of Chili and Chili Cheese next week, 7:30 Eastern. If you're watching this on Twitch.tv, come check out our YouTube channel. And if you're watching this on YouTube, come check out our Twitch channel live every Tuesday at 7:30. And next week we will continue Conan, the Ghost of Thunder River. Thanks guys for watching, and thanks guys for playing, and we'll see you next week.